Welcome to an introductory lesson in decluttering. Today I will be showcasing a few popular methods of decluttering as well as tips for decluttering different spaces in your home. You're watching this video because there is something not working in your life and you wish to improve upon a system that is no longer effective for you. What is hair pulling, teeth gritting, frustrating, or annoying about your daily cleaning and clearing routine? The next step is envision. What would be your ideal living space? For this exercise, you can draw on a piece of paper. What is the traffic flow? Where do you put pending tasks before they are completed? Plan. Find a method that works for you. There are several methods that we will be going over in this video, so just know that there isn't one method that works for every personality. So you've tried a method and you don't like it. Doesn't mean there's something wrong with you, just find another method. Maintain. Straighten up regularly so that it doesn't mount up again. Don't expect to finish in one day. Break areas or rooms up. Schedule or dedicate 1 hour of every week or a day a week. Make it work for you. It didn't take one day for everything to mount up. There's hope. Popular decluttering methods. The first is the closet hanger method, where you turn all of your clothes hooks facing you. When you wear that particular item, flip the hanger around so that you know what you're actually wearing. You can easily discard items that haven't been flipped over because you know you haven't worn them in X amount of time. The KonMari method. Declutter by category, not by room. First discard, then organize. Only keep things that spark joy. For further reading, you can check out Marie Kondo's book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, or her Netflix series, Tidying Up. I got the next two methods from theminimalists.com. The definition for minimalism, as it pertains to lifestyle, is owning few possessions in order to live intentionally and remove distractions. That definition I got from becomingminimalist.com. There are two popular methods that the minimalists promote. The minimalist packing party, in which you box up all of your possessions, only take out items as you need them. After 21 days, if it has not been unboxed, consider selling, donating, or throwing it away. This is a very extreme method of decluttering because in it you are boxing up all of your possessions, every single thing, and as you use them, you take them out of the box so that you can see what you actually use throughout the day. Another method that they promote is the minimalist men's game, where you declutter for 1 month. So for instance, on day 1, you discard 1 thing. On day 2, you discard 2 things. And on day 3, you discard 3 things, and on and on and on. Another way you can do this is you can do the reverse. So on day 1, you discard 31 things. Day 2, 30. Day 3, 29. This is I find it easier to do this method in reverse. I find it a lot easier to discard more at the beginning than it is at the end. Tips for decluttering your bedroom. Utilize storage options to place under the bed. You can use a vacuum sealed bag to place and store blankets and jackets, or a shoe rack. A shoe rack can also be hung on your closet door, and they're very versatile. Things you can store in your shoe rack are shoes, of course, toiletries, hairstyling tools, stationery. It's really very versatile. You can use multi-purpose furniture in your room, like an ottoman or at the end of the foot of the bed to store things. Your nightstand can be very versatile. It could have built-in shelves that you can put books next to your bed, or maybe a journal. It can store your reading glasses, or opportunities are endless. And of course, when you can't spread out, you can spread out. Especially in smaller dwellings, you can take advantage of the height in the rooms and work your way up along the wall if you can't spread out among the floor. Floor space is very precious. Tips for decluttering your clothes. Discard when not in season. This creates realistic expectations of what you would wear again. So for instance, you could discard winter clothing in the summer, and you can discard summer clothing in January here in Texas. Keep a box of clothing to be decided at a later date. After 3 to 6 months, discard if you haven't worn. This is for clothes you would deem as maybes. They are clothes that you're not sure about giving them away, but they're not in your current rotation. So box them up so that you can discern whether you would actually miss them or not. Gather up all your clothing at once. Compare each item with a similar article of clothing and ask yourself, which sweater would I prefer wearing? Do not keep ideal weight clothing. If you've had that dress for 2 years and you haven't fit into it, give it away. Someone else can enjoy it. When you become that ideal weight, it might be a good reason to splurge on new clothing. Drawer rotation method. For clothes stacked vertically, not horizontally, as explained in the KonMari method, place newly cleaned clothes to the back of the drawer. This ensures that you're rotating all of your clothing at once, and you're not going towards the first thing that's in the rotation because it's the last thing that was cleaned. This gives you a chance to see what you wear and what you want to keep. Tips for decluttering your kitchen. Use storage racks in your cabinets or pantry door. Use wall space for bulky pots and pans. S-hooks on a pegboard or a pot rack. Go through and purge spices that have expired or you do not use regularly. Spice organizers, alphabetize. Sometimes we don't even know what's in our pantry as far as spices go. It's best to discard what's expired and then maybe keep a list of what you have. And then maybe you can even Google certain recipes that you can use with this spice before it expires. Tips for decluttering your bathroom. Discard expired products. Make an inventory of what you own and use them up before buying. Why do you still have that shampoo if you didn't like it? Could someone you know make use of it, or would you like to give it another try before discarding it? If you have a storage problem in your linen closet, you can always place wicker baskets to store linens under the sink. Utilize under the sink storage, including rack organizers for the doors. Utilize drawer organizers to compartmentalize and to keep like things together. Reminder, discard expired or unwanted products before buying a storage option. You definitely want to reduce your inventory before you buy storage or you start storing everything and organizing everything, because the whole idea is to reduce clutter and to make your space a little bit cleaner, because chances are you have a couple of things in your bathroom that you don't use. You want to be sure to get rid of those, discard them, donate them, give them to somebody else that could use it before buying storage options. You want to reduce your inventory because odds are you don't use everything in your bathroom. Tips for decluttering your living room and office. On your bookshelf, leave space at least 25% free. Utilize shelves for decor aesthetics, like plants, photo frames, tchotchkes, etc. You can also follow the one in, one out rule, in which if you want to include or introduce a tchotchke or a photo frame, in order that it does not accumulate, you want to make sure that you discard a plant or rehome it so that your shelf doesn't get too cluttered. For your desk, install a shelf above your desk to store items like a pen container, paper clips, etc. Keep clutter minimum by filing items right away. Keep color-coordinated file folders for filing and designate certain colors for different categories. The point is, bookshelves are pretty versatile, and just consider them as open shelving. For your desk, install a shelf above your desk to store items like a pen container, paper clips, etc. Keep clutter minimum by filing things right away. Keep color-coordinated file folders for filing and designate different colors for certain categories. Don't let your to-do tasks collect. Cross things off as you have time. Again, the note about versatile furniture. You want to make sure that you find multi-purpose furniture for your space, like an ottoman that can count as a flat surface, as well as storage for your throw pillows and your blankets and extra things like that. And a warning and takeaway, I've learned this from experience, beware of flat surfaces. I find that anytime I clear a space, a flat surface, the top of my dresser, the top of my desk, I tend to accumulate junk because there is somewhere free that I can place it. This is not the point of clearing your workspace. The point is to keep it clear. So the whole idea of decluttering is to keep things decluttered and to keep things tidy. Everything is stored, everything has its own home, and you know where to find things. Tips for decluttering your books. Gather up all your books in one spot in order to really see what you own. This includes cookbooks, children's books, reference books, business or college textbooks. So when you gather up your books, don't forget cookbooks in the kitchen, college reference books in an office, everything. Flip through every book and see when was the last time you read it. A note for cookbooks: you won't try every recipe. Digitize the recipe that you wish to keep, then donate or sell the cookbook. Children's books. If you have children in the house and they're not that age anymore, you can donate, lightly worn, or recycle. Older children can help weed their own library. And like new books can be sold online, garage sales, half-price books, etc. You don't want to keep books to be read one day. That's why you have a library card. This is not the time to decide that you're suddenly going to binge read your book collection. You shirked that opportunity when you first acquired the book. If it hasn't been read by now, odds are it's not going to be read, and you won't miss it. Use your library card to test drive a book. That's what I do. And if I really like a book and I'm prone to reread, I buy it after reading it and enjoying it. Another thing you can ask yourself is, would you repurpose the book tomorrow if it were damaged or lost? Would you even miss it? Tips for decluttering paper. The retention schedule idea came from the Kumari method. And she describes that everything should be placed in a retention schedule. So basically, as long as you need it, but not anymore. Place everything on a retention schedule, but digitize when you can. Bank statements, 1 month. Shred immediately after reconciling your checkbook. Unless you need them for tax-related purposes, but they're usually available online. Credit card statements. Shred immediately after reconciling. Paychecks, 1 year or until you receive your W-2. 1040 and other tax forms, 7 years. Mail. Junk mail, recycle. Magazines and newspapers, implement the 1 in and 1 out rule. This means that magazines and newspapers are only kept for 1 issue at a time. Item needing attention or response, set reminder to resolve as soon as possible. Digitize, then shred. Warranties, as long as warranty is active. Keep all warranties in 1 folder or binder. And this is the bane of my existence, because I tend to accumulate paper and they breed overnight. There are things that need to be thrown away that I just need to take care of. I try to do it right then and there. Anytime I open a piece of mail, I try to take care of it right then and there. That way it doesn't accumulate. Because the old me would have kept that piece of paper to fill out right before the deadline, right before whoever sent it to me needed it. That's really not healthy. You really want to just get rid of stuff and get things done. Most of these forms are available online in form of PDF. And if, for instance, you need forms for tax-related purposes, digitize them by scanning and saving them to a folder or zip file on a flash drive. Organizing tips. After discarding, before you buy supplies, purge and declutter to your satisfaction. You want to make sure you've gotten rid of everything and that you don't need anymore. Set a layout. This goes back to drawing and envisioning. You want to make sure you know what your space wants, what you want your space to look like, so that you know exactly what you might need to buy. Do you have to buy something new? Cost-effective ways to store and organize your drawers and in your closets and your pantry. Shoe boxes, delivery boxes, and dollar store finds. Shoe boxes work really well, and odds are you buy shoes throughout the year. So I repurpose them to put inside of my drawers so that one shoe box might store socks, the other might store tank tops, and so on and so forth. And don't underestimate dollar store finds. At the dollar store, they have walls of containers of different sizes and different depth. Especially if you're using something for a drawer, like who's really looking at it? You don't really need something cute. Organizing should not cost a lot of money. There are ways to be cost effective, which is important because, I hate to say it, things might get messy again. It's very important to note that decluttering is not a one and done task. It requires constant monitoring and intention to make sure that it doesn't add up again. Now that I've gone over a few methods and tips with you, the objective is to think more critically next time so that your spaces do not accumulate useless things. It's either get rid of it now or get rid of it later. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching.